and welcome to another episode of SportsLine. I'm Bethany Lowe, and alongside of me is Cody Barr.
We have a great show planned, full of your LaSalle sports news, previews, and highlights.
So let's get started with some game recaps. Cody?
The women's swim and dive team participated in the Bucknell Invitational on November 22nd through November 24th. During day one of the Invitational, the Explorers finished in 5th place. Junior Paige Frischkorn finished in 7th in the 1-meter dive, and senior Greta Reichert had a 5th place finish in the 500-yard freestyle. On the second day, LaSalle maintained their 5th place as sophomore Kelly Jenkinson had a 1st place finish in the 100-yard breaststroke, while junior Chelsea Curran finished 4th in the 100-yard backstroke. On the last day, LaSalle ended the Invitational still in 5th place. Kelly Jenkinson continued to impress as she finished in first during the 200-yard breaststroke. For the 200-yard butterfly, freshman Julia Mann had a 10th place finish.
The men's swim and dive team also participated in the Bucknell Invitational on November 22nd through November 24th. On day one, the Explorers finished well enough for 3rd place. Junior Stefan Sharp finished in 5th place in the 500-yard freestyle, with freshman Matthias Glenesk finishing 2nd behind him. On day 2, LaSalle kept their 3rd place standing. Sophomore Johan Roth was the highlight for LaSalle as he finished 2nd in the 100-yard breaststroke. Senior Dave Durr placed 7th in the 100-yard backstroke. On the 3rd day, LaSalle finished the event still in 3rd. Both sophomore Justin Hughes and freshman Jerry Gravel notched top 10 finishes in the 200-yard backstroke, while sophomore Johan Roth finished 2nd in the 200-yard breaststroke.
November 23rd was quite the Saturday afternoon for LaSalle's cross-country teams. The men's squad competed in the Bronx at the IC4A Championships, with 5 runners finishing within the first 50. Most notably among them, of course, was senior Nico Greco, who finished 6th with a time of 25 minutes and 20 seconds. Only 5 seconds behind him was fellow senior Vince Perozzi in 10th place. The Explorers finished out in 5th place out of 10 with a score of 130 points. This is very pleasing to see, considering the team was racing without some of its top runners. Coach Dan Ireland was nonetheless pleased with the results and the way the season ended.
That same afternoon, on the 23rd, the women's cross-country team also competed in the Bronx, this time in the ECAC Championships. LaSalle finished in 7th place out of 9 with a tally of 158 points. The most distinguished performance was from senior Anna Rios, who came in 12th place with a time of 18 minutes and 40 seconds.
While the team was ending their season, senior Michelle Capozzi represented LaSalle in the NCAA Cross-Country Championships. She ran a time of 21 minutes and 52 seconds, which earned her the 177th place in the contest that included over 250 other runners. Congratulations to Michelle on her success this season.
The women's basketball team ended the month of November with a win as they took on the Lady Blue Devils Saturday, November 30th. CCSU gained an advantage in the first 6 minutes of the game, leading LaSalle 10-4. However, that soon changed when the Blue and Gold Heroines picked up their defense and started to dominate on the glass. The Blue Devils were out-rebounded the whole game, especially at one point in the second half, with the rebounding margin at 44-29. Lisa Burgess and Micaiah Owens tied for game-high scoring with 15 points apiece. Burgess drained 13 of her 15 shots in the second half and added a game-high tying 9 rebounds.
The Explorers could not create a streak of wins as they fell to UPenn on Monday, December the 2nd. The Quakers took the 5-4 lead with 16:42 on the clock and never looked back. Later, Penn used an 11-2 run midway through the second half to create distance from LaSalle. Once again, rookies Micaiah Owens and Jasmine Alston showed off their talents on the court. Owens was the only Explorer in double digits. Alston gathered a game-high tying 8 rebounds while also putting up 4 points and 4 steals. Penn's Alyssa Barron created problems for the Explorers, leading all scorers with 23 points.
Now, before we tell you about the men's basketball team, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to have Rohan Brown on the other side of the table with Jacob Smolinski interviewing him.
Are you bored? Are you tired of the same old shows?
Staring at the computer like
having thousands of channels to watch, but there's nothing there? Tired of sitting by yourself on your old mama's striped couch? Sitting in your room by yourself, watching someone who resembles your grandfather? Yeah, I know. I used to be just like you. By now, all hope is lost. You're flipping through channels, wondering what to watch. Boring, 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 boring. Wait, what's this? LaSalle TV. It's new, it's bold, it's great. It's not your ordinary TV.
Hello and welcome to another SportsLine interview segment. I'm Jacob Smolinski, and in an ironic twist of fate, I'm sitting down with a familiar face, Rohan. Rohan?
Hey.
It's wonderful to be in a position to interview right now.
No.
I feel very professional.
It's a little weird.
I know, kind of, it is. So, I mean, I guess I might as well just start off with some questions. So you were with men's basketball, and you just got back from the Paradise Jam out in the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
How was that?
That was actually an amazing experience. The people there, the locals, they're great. They're very friendly. But aside from the basketball, we went snorkeling, we went kayaking. The beach is right on the hotel, so if we had free time, we would leave the hotel room and go chill on the beach.
That sounds a lot better than what I did over. Yeah. So what happened though with the basketball? I know you guys had a couple of tough losses against some really high-ranked teams.
Yeah, it's very difficult because even though we're only missing one person from last year, not every team is the same the year before. So we're just trying to figure out what our signature will be this year, trying to figure out what we need to improve on. Obviously, it's defense and shooting. Coach has been getting on us about that, but it was tough few losses in the Paradise Jam, losing to Providence in northern Iowa. So hopefully we'll pick back up with these two upcoming games.
Yeah. And I know you guys have Hartford coming up and also Stony Brook. With Hartford, where are you guys playing at?
We're playing here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And any predictions for this game?
Oh, we're very determined to get this win. We need a pick-me-up game. And considering I'm from Hartford, Connecticut, it's going to be a very good game for me. I know a few people on the team. Of course, you know, the pre-game rattle between the two teams. So I can't wait to be on that court to face them.
That's going to be wild to play against some guys from your home team, though.
Yeah.
Did you go to high school with any of them?
I went to high school with about two of them, and then I know other players from AAU circuits.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
And so now, this is the big game coming up, though. Madison Square Garden against Stony Brook.
Madison Square Garden, yes.
Everybody's going to be watching.
That is probably one of the biggest stages I'll ever play on. It's a great atmosphere, great environment. And the crazy thing is we had to change our practice times because the Knicks are supposed to be practicing as well. So if we get to see them, that's just another plus, even though they're not doing that well this year.
Yeah, but so what are you guys doing in preparation for this game?
Preparation, we haven't fully prepared for Stony Brook. We like to take one game at a time, but we've fully prepared ourselves for Hartford, and we're ready for the game. Yeah,
it's going to be a really tough one, I think. And it's also going to be broadcasted live on MSG.
Yes.
Everybody's going to be tuning in for that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of games on TV this year.
That's awesome. And so I have to ask you, who in your family is your biggest fan?
Biggest fan would probably be my mom, even though she has no idea what's going on. I honestly can say that. I remember in high school, she would come to my games and by mistake root for the other team when they scored, and then everyone would look at her like, what are you doing? Like, that's the wrong team. And then she would sit down embarrassed. But, you know, as embarrassing as she is my biggest fan.
Is she going to be coming out to the game against Madison Square Garden?
She definitely is. My mom's coming, my brother's coming, also my cousin. And hopefully my other cousin is coming along as well, so another big game.
Yeah, the entire family's going to be out there.
Yes, can't wait.
It's the best. And so, I know you always ask this question every time that there's people on the show.
Bring it.
What is your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie is a tie. It's a tie now. I used to be a Tarzan fan. I still am. But I'm going to have to go with Tangled. Tangled is a really good Disney movie. I know, it's surprising.
Out of nowhere.
It's surprising. But Tangled, I have to say, is tied with Tarzan.
What got you with Tangled?
It's the male lead. He reminds me of myself. He does. I have to go with that. That's the reason why.
I mean, that's just wonderful. I did not see that coming. My mind is blown right now. Well, to the next question though. This is another one you always ask, and you've shocked some people, and they just don't know what to say.
Right.
But what is your most embarrassing moment as an athlete?
Wow. All right, so basketball, most embarrassing moment would have to be making mistake. Because I started playing basketball when I was 14. I had no idea how to play the game. So I scored on the wrong basket when I first started playing, and then started cheering in the middle of the court, and everyone looked at me like I was the weirdest kid they ever seen in their life. It was actually very embarrassing. I don't like talking about it, but for you, I'll share that.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
So did you only start playing basketball when you were 14, like freshman year of high school, or?
Yeah, I started basketball when I was 14 in high school. I actually got good very quickly, but before basketball, I was actually a soccer player.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's like the speed comes from and everything?
Yeah.
And so then what happened? How did you end up at LaSalle?
Came to LaSalle. I didn't have much looks coming out of high school. I had one Division II scholarship, so I was going to do an extra year of high school. But during that summer, I picked up 6 Division I scholarships, LaSalle being one of them. The coach seemed very honest, very truthful, so I went with LaSalle.
Now you're here.
Yeah.
Gosh. And well, I mean, I guess that's all I got for right now. So thanks for sitting down with me and Rohan, and we'll be back to you guys after break.
Lloyd Ayers, and I'd like you to join us at Freedom from Fire. You have the opportunity to learn all about our community partners. You'll learn about our own experts and professionals. We bring on many of our first responder partners so that they can explain to you how they interact with the fire department and you as a community. So join us at Freedom from Fire.
Hi, I'm Ty Johnson, host of Bridging the Gap. We'd love to have you with us. When one's on the right, another's on the left, when we reach towards the middle, we begin to bridge the gap.
Hi, everybody. We certainly hope that you'll keep your dial locked at TV 56 LaSalle TV. I'm Thera Martin Milling, the host of a program there called News You Can Use. And our program is all about what's going on in the city of Philadelphia, from elected officials to people who are involved with community nonprofits to business owners who want to share their secrets to success. All of that and more on News You Can Use.
Welcome back. The Paradise Jam started off right for the men's basketball team in the Virgin Islands. On November 22nd, the men took on the Morgan State Bears. The Explorers came out strong, scoring a quick 10 points to the Bears' single basket. Morgan State was able to take the lead midway through the half, but then, with under 5 minutes left in the first half, the Explorers scored 13 unanswered points to give them the lead going into halftime. The Blue and Gold never let go of the lead in the second half, not allowing the Bears to bring the gap within 5 points. Toward the end of the game, the lead reached double digits and the Explorers took the win 78-59.
Next up for LaSalle in the Virgin Islands was Providence on Sunday, November 24th. They got off to yet another quick start, leading 11-2 in the first 5 minutes, but the Friars were in the lead for the rest of the first half, halftime 30-26. Coming out of the break, the Explorers were eventually able to cut the lead, so they were just down by 1, but Providence did not allow it to get any closer, and the Friars took the victory 71-63. Senior Tyreek Dern and junior Jarrell Wright each had 16 points and 6 rebounds.
After many strong performances from Jarrell Wright, including double-doubles in 3 of the previous 4 games, LaSalle was forced to go with a 4 or 5 guard lineup for most of the game against Northern Iowa. Wright had limited playing time because of illness. In the matchup against the Panthers, the Explorers continued with starting the game off strong, but Northern Iowa had a hot streak and grabbed the lead that they kept for the remainder of the game. The Explorers brought the deficit down on many occasions, but were never able to get within 7 points. The Panthers took the victory in this third-place game 65-50.
And on December 4th, the men took on the Hartford Hawks, as Rohan mentioned in the interview. Take a look at how it turned out for the Explorers.
The last home game before students head home for winter break, the men's basketball team tipped off against Hartford. After disappointing losses during their trip to the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands, LaSalle craved a win to improve their 500 record. The fast-paced first half put LaSalle up 33-26. Stat leaders during the opening 20 minutes included Rohan Brown, who led with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal in his 8 minutes on the floor.
I love Rohan. We can count on him. He brings great toughness. What you saw him have success with today is what makes him good. Just tenacity, getting the ball, putbacks, battling on defense. He has great toughness. He has great will. He's mentally strong.
Leading the Explorers in rebounds was Steve Zach, who grabbed 5 on defense. In the second half, the Explorers maintained the advantage and secured the 75-62 victory. Stepping up offensively was Tyrone Garland, who added 13 points in the half. Garland ended the game with 17 points, a team high for the game. Steve Zach led the team in rebounds with 10 and recorded his 3rd consecutive double-double. The Explorers shot 46% against Hartford, a vast improvement from their last game against UNI, in which they shot only 31% from inside the arc. Still troubling LaSalle is their percentage from the three-point range. 13 attempts were taken in the game, with only 4 falling through the net.
Hey, we're still not shooting the ball great. Jarrell missed some easy ones. Tyreek had a couple threes go in and out. If we shoot the ball a little bit better, we're like any team. There's an awful lot changes, Today we took the shots. That's why I'm not, as long as we take them, I do feel it will swing back. I mean, Jarrell went up strong. He's not finishing. I can't explain it. Tyreek's threes all look good, just right in and out. As long as we take them and we take them comfortably and confidently, the averages will.
Thanks, Cody. Now let's talk some notable stories with this week's portion of Exploring Headlines. The volleyball team is ending the year on a positive note, with junior middle hitter Jen Whalen receiving special recognition for her academic performance. She was named to the A10 All-Academic Team for the season. She is the 6th player in the history of the program to get this honor and the 8th LaSalle athlete overall. That is truly impressive, and on top of that, she still managed to finish the season 3rd in both kills and blocks. This student athlete is a nursing major with a 4.0 GPA.
Jason Plumhoff, our outstanding soccer senior, was one of 29 finalists for Soccer News Net's College Boot. He was the only A10 or Soccer 6 player to appear on the ballot. Considering this is all of Division I soccer, it's an honor that he was nominated. So make sure you go on to GoExplorers.com to vote for Plumhoff. Ranked 9th nationally in points per game, it would be quite a great way for Plumhoff to end his career if he was recognized with such an achievement.
As men's soccer finished out their season with a tough loss against St. Louis in the A10 championships, they have still been earning some accolades even after the season ended. Congrats to the Explorers for earning an NSCAA College Team Athletic Academic Award with a compiled 3.03 GPA. The team made sure to put in work on and off the field, and it really showed.
The women's soccer team members had their own honors to cheer about as well. Congratulations to junior Kelsey Haycock and grad student Jordan McVicker on being named to the Capital One Academic All-American team. Haycock led the Explorers this season with 15 goals and 11 assists. The junior forward is now tied for first in school history with 40 career goals. This is familiar territory for Haycock, also part of the Capital One academic team. McVicker is a redshirt senior at LaSalle and is a powerful force defensively that pressured opponents to the outside. LaSalle is the only school in the United States to have 4 combined recipients in the last 2 years.
In addition to these individual accomplishments, the women were also recognized as an NSCAA academic college team for their work in the classroom. The team earned the 2nd highest GPA in the Atlantic 10 with a collective 3.4. This is the 11th consecutive year the Explorers have received this academic honor.
To sum up the impressive academic success of our student athletes, 34 were inducted to the Alpha Epsilon Honor Society at the Alumni Association's annual awards dinner. The athletes honored included 6 swimmers, 3 of our women's soccer players, and 9 from the cross-country and track and field teams. 1 athlete was honored from each the softball, women's diving, lacrosse, and volleyball teams. The field hockey, baseball, and men's rowing team had 2 members selected, while the women's rowing team had 5 represented. Congratulations to all of our student athletes.
The track and field season begins on Saturday, December 7th at the Jack Pirate Invitational. The team will not compete again until returning back for the spring semester on January 17th in the Great Dane Classic at the University of Albany. The indoor season will finish up at the end of February, and the outdoor season will begin on March 22nd at the Big 5 Invitational. For the outdoor team, the highlight, of course, will be the Penn Relay set for April 24th through the 26th.
On that note, we are going to take another quick break, but when we get back, Jacob Smolinski will tell you which game to watch during this week's marquee matchup.
On air? What's that? Hey, it's locked. It sounds so fun in there. Let me in! Phew, that was a weird dream. My LaSalle TV shirt. I thought I lost it. Don't let this nightmare happen to you. Watch LaSalle TV. And now you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Jacob Smolinski. Coming up on Saturday, December 7th, the Explorers head to one of the biggest games of the year, LaSalle versus Stony Brook at Madison Square Garden. This is going to be a pivotal game for the Explorers, coming off a string of tough losses, and with the pressure from the arena itself, as well as the wrecking ball that is Stony Brook, this is going to be decisive in how the rest of the season looks. As the Explorers came out strong in the first game of the Paradise Jam tournament over Thanksgiving, their finesse just couldn't match up to Providence and Northern Iowa. In two heartbreaking losses, it marked a change in play from last year, and the Explorers are finding themselves in some sort of a slump. Trying to handle this wave of expectations has proven to be a lot more difficult than we thought. But as they take on 5-3 Stony Brook, if you're able to knock them out, things can start looking up later on for the season. So now, looking at the current comparative stats around the NCAA, LaSalle has sunk to around the 150s ranking in rebounds and assists throughout college basketball. On top of that, they're down to 213th overall in points per game and shockingly 308th in field goal percentage. The struggle to make shots is extremely apparent in the field goal stats, and the roster is struggling. With only 40% of the shots being made each game, LaSalle needs to tighten up. The only major contributor over 400 is Jarrell Wright, who's the third leading scorer on the team. Garland and Duren are both under 400, and especially for starters of their caliber, something is just not balanced right now. So now, let's take a look at some players to watch in this upcoming game. Junior center Steve Zak is really using his body on the court. Utilizing his 6'11 frame, he has racked up 64 rebounds this year while keeping an average of 9.1 per game. Especially in the Paradise Jam, he started out getting 2 straight double-doubles in the final 2 games of the tournament. He is the key to holding up the inside game for LaSalle. Without him, the rebound game suffers, so as he matches up against the offensive front of Stony Brook, he's going to need to play big and control possession for the Explorers. Next, we basically take him for granted, but we need to keep our eye on Tyrone Garland. He hasn't been able to nail a South Philly floater all year, and he's going to be looking to prove himself at Madison Square Garden. With a big stage in front of him, he's going to try to capitalize on it. Leading the team with 118 points on the season and an average of 16.9 per game, his relative dry spells coming out of the Virgin Islands is going to be motivation to really pump up his game. So now, let's take a look at the keys to the game. If LaSalle is going to shake down Stony Brook for the win in New York City, they need to improve their field goal percentage drastically. If we're going to make it through March Madness again, we need to start putting up points. You don't get to the top scoring low, and this killed us in the islands, and we can't let it happen again at Madison Square Garden. Garland has to nail the floater, and the rest of the team has to make smart decisions on the offensive front. Next, we need to play some defense. We are last in the A-10 with scoring margin. We are negative 1.4, and we've been letting these last couple of games get away from us, and we're just not keeping up. The A-10 is extremely competitive this year, and the Explorers need to keep up their rebound game and not just rely on Zach and Wright. LaSalle has to put more pressure on these big offenses, and playing against a team like Stony Brook, they're going to need to be on top. So honestly, it all comes down to making more shots and playing tighter defense, which sounds pretty basic. But right now, LaSalle needs to focus on the basics before they can get better. But things are optimistic. It's still early season jitters, and the Explorers have had some mature, decisive wins. It's just a matter of making sure the team gets itself together. This game at Madison Square Garden could mark the change for a team looking to get back to the place where it once was. LaSalle has a lot to prove, and this setting is the place to do it. So I'm going to be on the edge of my seat for this game, tuning into MSG at 11 a.m., and hopefully see the Explorers storm the court and take out Stony Brook. Thanks for watching Marquee Matchup. I'm Jacob Smolinski.
We'll get you ready for the game.
Thanks, Jake. Be sure to keep up with this weekend's sporting events by following us on Twitter at SportsLine LTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming shows.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on either website.
But it might take a while because we are going home for winter break. We will be home for, I guess, a month. We'll be back January 13th.
And we won't have a show till then. So,
I'm Bethany Lowe.
And I'm Cody Barr.
Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you in 2014.